Hey, this is the Father Trucker, and if I was to ask you if you would like to be free, what would you say? You might come back and say, free from what? Well, stay tuned to the Father Trucker this time. We're going to be talking all about what it means to really, truly be free. Welcome to the Father Trucker. Hey, so welcome to the Father Trucker. We are continuing on our journey that's got us going through the Gospel of John, and we're up to John chapter 8. And I really do hope that you are reading the scriptures, not just clicking on this video for a few minutes every week, but sitting in the scriptures. We were in last in John chapter 7, and I got to tell you, it is rich. You could spend like days just taking that apart verse by verse and understanding all of the amazing things that Jesus said and looking at all of the amazing things that Jesus did. It's amazing, and you can't get it for a few minutes and think you're going to really get it. You got to lean into it, and so that's my hope, is that even as we breeze through some of these texts, that you're going to actually go in on your own and do a little digging. And there's so many amazing resources out there you can lean into. And I got to tell you, if you have a question, you're sitting in a text and you're wondering about something. Maybe you are a Christian trucker, or maybe you're just looking into the faith. You can always email me at powerservechaplain@gmail.com. I promise you, there's no fees, there's nothing you're going to be asked to buy, there's no subscriptions, nothing at all. I promise you that. But if you have any questions, you can sure reach out. But we're sitting today in John chapter 8, and again, there is just so much in this text that we could be ruminating on and just sitting in for hours and hours and hours, and I hope you do. But I just want to pay attention to a couple little things. If you haven't caught it yet, in John's gospel, there's a bit of a struggle going on, and it looks like this. Jesus is teaching, Jesus is doing miraculous things, and there's a couple different groups of people. There's his close followers, who he calls disciples, and then there's a bigger gang of people that are hanging around and paying attention and listening and following. And I'm guessing they would just follow him from town to town and from teaching to teaching. And then there's the religious leaders that are out to disprove him because he's a threat to them. And so this text that we're in today in John chapter 8, there's a pretty familiar passage. So Jesus says in John chapter 8, verse 31, these amazing words. He says, "If you keep on obeying what I have said, you are truly my disciples. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." And so what is Jesus saying when he's saying this? Well, he's saying that it's a couple things. It's possible to be free, because if the Son sets you free, you're going to be free indeed. And that's a little term that would have come in the Greek language as, like, you're absolutely free. If the Son sets you free, you really, truly, honestly are free. Not kind of free, but really free. And then the crowd that I was telling you about, the ones that are out to disprove Jesus, they push back and they say, "We have never been slaves to anybody," which is kind of funny, because in the history of the Jewish people, which is who's talking, they certainly were slaves in their history. But here's the deal: when you come face to face with a truth like this, you got a couple of options. You can believe Jesus and lean in and say, "Show me how, show me what to do next," or you can argue with him. You can tell him that, "No, I don't believe you. I'm not buying it, and I'm not following it. And I'm certainly not going to change my life based on it." And so let me encourage you, when Jesus says you can be free, it's true, you can be free, but it starts with a good confession which looks something like, Jesus, in this area of my life, I need you to set me free. So can I invite you to take that question real serious? Maybe get on your knees before the Lord if you are a Christian trucker and you want to be a free Christian trucker. Then it begins by admitting, acknowledging, confessing the places where you need freedom. Maybe there's some addiction issues that you're wrestling with. Maybe there are some things like anger or other things that you're wrestling with. I'm not going to put thoughts in your head, but if there's things that you are wrestling with that you are enslaved to, Jesus wants to set you free. Maybe it's the financial pressures and weights, and I don't know how he would choose to set you free. Maybe they just don't hold you in bondage anymore and you can deal with what comes. I don't know, but step number one, Jesus, show me where I'm enslaved. Show me where I'm in bondage. Show me where I am not free. Step number two, I admit it, I confess it, I acknowledge it. Jesus, I am not free in this way, but I want to be. Step number three, Jesus, show me how. Because remember in that little text, it's all tied to obeying him and listening to his teaching. And from that, he brings freedom and deliverance. Okay, so does that make sense? So the Father Trucker's battery is about to die, and I got to be honest, I've been on the road for a long time today, so I'm just about out of steam. But I just really, really pray and truly pray that as you hear these truths, that you would say, I want to, I need to, I'm willing to press in to be free. And so if you have any questions, like I said, just reach out. Please like and share and subscribe and all that stuff. And pass this on to people that you think need to know that Jesus is serious about setting his people free. And I hope that maybe down the road some of us will meet and I'll hear stories about how he has set you free. And maybe in the next video I'll share a couple stories from my own journey about the ways that he has set me free too. Because I can say this as I close this little time together, Jesus is good to his word, and he has set me free, and so many other people who trusted him and leaned into him, he set them free too, and you could be as well. Hey, this is the Father Trucker. Thanks for hanging out for a bit, and we will talk soon, about a week from now. God bless.